I did. Good morning. We are excited to be here. My name is Allison Mancini. I am your holistic nutritionist, and I'm joined here today with two awesome women, one being my partner in crime.
Hey everyone, I'm Julietta, the magical PT. Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, support, and uplift women. Today we have an amazing guest, Deanna, here with us. And would you please introduce yourself to the goddesses? Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Hi, everybody. My name is Deanna. I run a business called My Small Business Professional. I help everyone access that COO level of executive training and expertise that a lot of small businesses don't have available to them. And I specialize in accounting, human resources, bookkeeping, trainings for QuickBooks, whether you're desktop or online. I'm certified, background screening and background checks, which is really important these days, especially because you never know who you're getting into. And with a lot of remote work, you want to make sure you're hiring who you think you're hiring. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that goes into that. And I've recently began a hypnotherapy course so that I can bring that into my tool chest as well to help work with everybody and make everyone the best person they can be.
Awesome. Thank you again so much for joining us. And we are going to dive into our questions. So the first one is, Deanna, what is your superpower?
I had an interesting game that I played with this because I knew you were going to ask this question, and I put it out to my friends and family and asked them, I said, what would you describe as my superpower? And naturally I thought, oh, well, it's because you're an empath, Deanna, and you understand everybody and you feel what they feel. And my entire family said I am the cat whisperer, which I thought was funny. I have 10 cats, by the way, but please do not pass judgment. That's awesome. There's a long story behind that requires an explanation. Right. But the one that came up, the most common theme was my ability to make everyone feel comfortable and okay with my sense of humor, and that I make everyone laugh, even when they don't think it's a laughable moment.
Laughter's like the theme of the day, I think.
I know it is. It is laughter.
It is like, it's such an important skill though it's always incredible to me how many people are walking around in this world feeling uncomfortable, feeling nervous, feeling unsure. And when someone can make you like feel comfortable and relaxed, that is such a gift. And, there's one of my big themes in my practice is always like self-love and wanting people to embrace loving themselves and knowing that they're perfect the way they are. And, we talked a little bit before the show about being weird, and we all have our weird side. And, I love to, like, a lot of times I put my weirdness out there so that other people know that like, we're all weird and it's okay to be weird, and just be weird.
It's way better than being normal. Just a little bit. It doesn't always work.
Well, and it gives us something to laugh about too. Like you said, it's important to laugh.
I'm like a lighthouse. It's like a beacon. This is for other weird. Bring it on.
You know what I really love though, Deanna, is that you're pulling in like these really great modalities to use with your in your business. I mean, I did not know, Deanna, this is the first time Deanna and I've had a chance to meet, and I didn't know really. I mean, I kind of knew what you did, but I wasn't totally sure. And I think that's really cool that you're doing like the hypnotherapy and all that, because especially if you're working with small businesses, I mean, so much of everything we do every day is mindset. And that's really what hypnotherapy is all about, right? It's about getting your mindset in the right place. I mean, that's amazing. Sorry, I kind of went off on that.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah.
And we don't mean to. We set out to with the best of intentions. It's just as we go throughout the day, we just go downhill really fast. And I'm known for doing it. And so I started with me. I am my first patient always. To, change that mindset and be okay with things and, be positive and, for lack of a better word, manifest those positive things that will come into your life if you have the right attitude, which I think, laughter is also a really important part of it. Maybe that's why I laugh so much.
Yeah. No, I love that.
All right. Are we ready for question number 2? This is the one that everybody struggles about because we ask for one book, but we also understand if you have more than one book, it's okay. But what is a book that has greatly influenced your life?
Well, this was another one I had a really tough time with. I am a big reader. And since I'm an avid watcher of your podcast and everyone mentions their books, I do make it a point to read every single book that has been mentioned on your podcast. So kudos to you and everyone. One of the ones that was mentioned quite frequently was a book called Many Lives, Many Masters. And that actually is what inspired me to get into the hypnotherapy. So there we go. We've now tied the whole thing together. You see how it works.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that is a key book that has opened up these other realms to so many people. As someone who's kind of lived in that world for a long time, I wouldn't necessarily think of that book as the one that is like the doorway for so many people into the weird life. But it comes up a lot. And because obviously past life regression is a form of hypnosis. And I've done it quite a few times, both individually and group settings. And it's a powerful healing experience. And but it is interesting because it's not something that everybody's open to.
And you know what? If you asked me at an earlier time than this, I may not have been as open to it. But when I read the book, I just found it so interesting. I sat and read it in one sitting because I was so fascinated by this woman. I'm like, she's just so interesting. Like these lives that have existed. And it inspired me to do more writing for my own book that I am working on, that Julietta, you and I have talked about, the book that I'm forever writing. Allison, you're not aware of this, but I've been working on a book. It's called Setting the World on Fire. And even though I'm usually more into, biographies and memoirs and people surviving and, how they've survived trauma and things like that, and how they live their lives in different cultures, my book would be a book of fiction about 3 women, about middle-aged, about my age. And they all met back in the 90s and when they were in their early 20s. And all of them, each one of them has a dream, about what their version of success is. And they all achieve a certain version of success, but they're all missing something. And they always thought they were going to set the world on fire. Well, secretly, one of them is an arsonist. So there's the story unfolding. And every day when I go for my daily walk, I work on another chapter in my mind. So if that book ever comes to fruition, or when I should say that book comes to fruition, that will be my favorite book. That will be the one.
I'm like, Deanna sounds like a candidate for our second mastermind group to accomplish a big, bold goal. BBG.
Yes.
Ooh, we lost her. Oh, there she is. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, for sure. Because I've been trying to write a book for like a year and a half. And yeah, we just got to do it. Like, no excuses.
Somebody has to hold us accountable.
Yeah,
That's what the
for sure.
mastermind group is about, is holding each other accountable and getting things done.
Yeah.
I was looking at it, and then I was afraid. I was like, what if I let someone down? And then I'm like, stop being fearful, Deanna. That's not your mindset. That's not who you are. You're not a fearful person. In fact, one of the things that a good friend of mine described me as was that she said, Deanna, your power is that you're fearless. Nothing stops you and nothing frightens you. So I got really excited because I was like, okay, I have to do this now.
Yep, for sure.
You know what we learned even with this podcast is you just got to do it. It's never going to be perfect and exactly how you want it. You just got to do it. And it's amazing how it all comes together.
Isn't that true about life?
Yeah, very true.
Remember what you expected.
Yeah, it's probably like the last 3 years now, I've totally become the yes girl. Like, I will say yes to anything that does not, like, as long as it's not illegal or potentially harmful to myself or somebody else.
Disclaimer.
But what?
Disclaimer.
Yes. As long as there's like no like harm in any way to myself or someone else involved, I say yes. And like the more uncomfortable it feels, the more excited I feel about saying yes. And like doing this podcast was definitely one of those things. It's like it came up. I'm like, I'm not a podcaster. I don't like being on video. I don't like people watching me. Like, and that in itself was like, okay, this is a yes. I'm saying yes. And, you know, both Allison and I were like, we have no idea what we're doing, but we knew like the reason for doing it, like wanting to support other women and lift each other up and empower each other. Like it was super important. And, you know, you look at the why you're doing it and let the why dissipate the fear and just go for it. And I have to say, like every episode has just been so, there's something to gain from every single episode. And even, you know, and this is why we encourage everybody to come on this show. Like, you might not think that you have something important to say, but there is somebody out there that needs to hear something that you're going to say today. And you're going to say it it might be the same thing that someone else has said over and over, but the way you say it today is going to change somebody's life.
I find that your podcast has been so inspiring. I am one who has been definitely terrified of doing something. And I was like, I will never do social media. I will never do a podcast. I will never do this, and this. And then I realized it's not about me.
Right.
It's about the other person. It's about helping. It's about being a part of a community. It's about being fearless and finding your voice and having something to say. And watching your podcast, I was like, this is what resonates. This is it. This is why we do what we do and why people do what they do. And I am so wholly on board with this, and have told everyone that I know about your podcast, and then my family follows and my friends follow. And
We appreciate. And yeah, thank you, Audrey, for chiming in here. Fear can be a strong motivator. Absolutely. And it always takes me, I'm going to bring up a man here, which is okay. But Will Smith did, it's a YouTube video, and it's like everything you want is on the other side of fear. And that definitely like resonated with me big time. And so, yeah, anytime I feel that little fear, sometimes we like to call it the butt pucker. If it's making your butt pucker, like, you know, it's
I've never heard
do it.
I've never heard it either.
You've never heard that? Oh my God, something new for you today. This is your takeaway. If it makes your butt pucker, you got to do it.
Okay, I'm going to remember that. But you know what? Well, let's look at it another way. Like one of my coaches, she always said, like, when you kind of get that feeling in the pit of your stomach, like, and that little voice is telling you, like, you got to do it. Audrey's laughing at your butt pucker comment. But yes, you're right, Audrey. Fear can be a strong motivator, and it can push us in ways that we might not have expected, right?
Absolutely.
That's so funny.
All right. We're going to keep the show rolling here. Next question, because it's so important for goddesses to do self-care. So, Deanna, what is your favorite self-care practice?
Oh, I'm glad you said favorite, because I have so many that it's almost so makes me a little.
And I love to hear that when people have
Yeah,
many.
I have a lot too. Like,
right,
so
it's okay.
Don't do any self-care, and it's so vital.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite, Deanna?
I love to meditate. I love to walk. I love to take time to read and things like that. But I think the one that has really been influential and made the biggest difference in my life is that I've made it okay to have feelings. I have made it okay as a woman to be angry, to experience grief, and to express it. I'm not mean or anything, at least I try not to be mean, but I think it's really important, especially for women who are taught in this society that we are always supposed to be, quiet and happy and smiley faced, that, some things make me angry. Some things piss me off, and I'm going to say something, and I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And, even though it was very, very terrifying when I first did it, again, that fear of being a great motivator got me to do it. And the more you do it, it's easier to do. And I think that's what's really important, is because I get to be the real me, good, bad, and whatever. And other people experience the real, genuine me. And it makes for a lot better relationships. It really enhances communication. And I'm getting my needs met, and you're getting your needs met, and, let's help one another. So I don't know if you'd really call that self-care, but I think it is, just to be able to recognize.
I totally think it's self-care to feel your feels. Like, I don't know that it's like something that like would have like popped to mind, like, oh, this is self-care, but hearing you talk, absolutely it's self-care. Because I think of so many times in my life where I've like shoved the emotions down. Grief is a big one that comes up for me. Like, when my mom was sick with dementia for so many years, so it was like this prolonged period. If I let myself feel it, that the grief that I was feeling, because I lost my mom before she died because of the dementia. So this was like years and years of me shoving down that grief. And it was killing me. And so finally being okay with like letting it out and expressing it and letting people see me cry. Because like the cries are ugly cries, and like you don't want anybody to see that, but like it's important that we allow our true self out. So I love that you shared that as your favorite self-care. Audrey has some great ones. Hiking through the. Where are you? That there's a rainforest.
I know.
I want to go hiking through that rainforest.
Can we go to that rainforest? Where is that?
I mean, like some of I was on vacation up in Wisconsin, spending a lot of foresting time, which was great for my soul.
So I really.
She's in Costa Rica.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice. I really appreciate you saying that that's your favorite self-care practice, because so often, and in one of the things that I do for my job is I have to be the bad guy. And I think that so many times, like, I feel bad for, let's just put it straight out there, I feel bad for being a bitch, but I do. I know. And I'm like, why do I always feel so bad about this? Like, guys don't feel bad about being, they just do it. So why am I feeling so bad about it? Like, and I really appreciate you saying that, because I need to learn to be okay with, because you're right. We're always supposed to be the caretaker, the nice one, the loving, the supportive, the sensitive ones. And the minute we show that we're angry or upset or we're sad, it's like not okay all of a sudden. And I think so much on social media these days, and I'm guilty of this too, we always only post all the great stuff. We don't ever share the down stuff. And our poor kids feel like this is how life normally is now, right? They think life is this sunshines and butterflies and roses all the time, and it's not. It's not at all.
No, it's a false narrative.
It's
constantly living on the cover of a Cosmo magazine, like that's what you're supposed to be. And I refuse.
Yeah.
I refuse.
Let's make it real, people. Keep it real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. All right. The final question that we have today is, Deanna, how do you create accountability?
By saying it out loud and putting it on my calendar. And when I made my decision that I was going to go back to school, I put it on my calendar, and my study times are on my calendar, and my self-care moments for meditating, walking on my calendar. And I make time for what is important to me and what's important to my family and what's important to get my, work done.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's on the calendar, it has to get done, because with my OCD, I cannot have a missed deadline.
I understand that.
And if you say it out loud, you either have to come up with a lot of excuses or one really mammoth-sized lie as to why you failed and let everyone down. So there, I'm saying all of this stuff and I'm putting it out there because I'm going to let everyone hold me accountable. I'm not good at lying, so I have to be able to do this. Can't come up with
So
that
how
much.
about saying out loud, I'm going to finish my book?
I am going to finish my book.
I'm with you, girl. I'm right there with you. I gotta finish mine. Ugh.
But like on an I love that, saying it out loud, like on an energetic level.
It's already there. It's already done.
Yeah.
So, but there's this thing that I have to share right now. And like, you can go to the Bible, like there is this theory that everything is created out of sound. Those of you that know me know my favorite instrument is the didgeridoo. There's something about that sound. And when I got to meet Stephen Farmer in person, if you don't know him, he's a Hay House author, and shamanism is his, earth medicine is his thing. But he told me about how the Aborigines in their culture, like earth was created through the sound of the didgeridoo. So sound is what creates. So when you say it out loud, as opposed to just thinking it in your head, when you say it out loud, that's the initiation of the creation process. So yeah,
that's the same as in the Bible. The word began with the word. The word is God, right? Like that whole,
That's why I said it's in the and there's probably many other examples of this in different cultures and belief systems, but sound is a creative force. So it's very different to say your goal out loud versus just thinking your goal or just writing it down. Like, the sound creates.
And using
putting it out there.
And starting it with I am.
There is no choice.
An author. I am an author. I am a best-selling book. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
so cool.
Audrey put, wait, I got to share this. This is so awesome. She's awesome. I don't know Audrey. She's awesome.
I'm like, Audrey seems like she needs to be a guest on the show.
Yeah, I feel like she does too. I'm totally agreeing with you.
And putting that out to our audience, because it is something new on our website, we now have a form where you can go in and put your information in there, and our producer, I love saying our producer because how cool are we that we have a producer of our show now, but put your your contact information on that form, and we'll reach out and get you scheduled as a guest on this show.
I just put the link in the comments.
Oh, you're so good.
I try.
You should do this for a living.
Really? You think? I love that. Did you see what Audrey said? Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly it. Words have a vibrational frequency that have the power to manifest. So
Love it. Love it. She's totally got it.
yeah.
All right. It's takeaway time. It's takeaway time. You want to go first or you want me to go first, Allison?
I want you to go first because I'm not sure yet.
So the thing that, I mean, there's always so much in the shows. I love them. But the thing that like really like hit me strong today was the being okay with having feelings. Like, yeah, I think, ciao, Audrey.
Ciao, Audrey.
Yeah, I like as much as I've opened myself up to it, I do know that I'm still on some levels, like I'm holding back. And I need to stop holding back and just let the emotions be out there. Yeah. Thank you for that gift, Deanna. What's your takeaway, Allison?
You know, I'm going to have to go with the same one, but I also actually really like to, with what Deanna shared about, you know, being okay with the feelings. And then Audrey saying about, you know, strong, independent women are not bitches. Like, strong independent women are just strong independent women, and that's okay. And I think that's probably a big lesson for me. And it's funny to me because, you know, my mom, she got divorced when I was 12, and I was really raised by a single mom. I mean, 12 is young. You're still pretty impressionable. And it's so funny to me because I was really raised by a strong independent woman who is doing everything herself. And somewhere along the line, I kind of lost that. And I think that goes back to that whole, because, you know, we're reading Conversations with God right now in our book club. And that goes back to that whole thing of being like programmed into all these belief systems from very young, from like even before first grade, they say, actually. So when I look at that, I realize that even though I was raised by a very strong independent woman, I had so many pre-programmed ideas already there prior. And so kind of unlearning all those pre-programmed thoughts, and to be okay with being a strong, independent woman. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. It is not a BITCH. There you go.
Nice. I just want to give a shout out to Graciela and Lane who are watching the show too. Amazing goddesses. All right, Deanna.
So good.
Oh gosh.
What is your takeaway today, Deanna?
My takeaway was the strong, independent woman, and that it's okay. And I am always amazed by how many strong, independent women I am surrounded by. And yet we still don't consider ourselves strong, independent women. And we are.
So true.
Okay.
The twins. Graciela's twins had to say hi. I have to show them that. There you go. Hello. Yes. No, you're so right. I agree with you, Deanna. That's awesome.
I know every podcast I watch with you guys, I just feel humbled by, I'm not fulfilling every part of everything I need to fulfill in myself. And yet I feel inspired at the same time to continue to try. And it's because of the people that you're, you know, talking to. Everyone is a strong, independent woman, and it's okay. And I'm really so proud to be part of this group and been invited in. And, you know, I feel honored and special, and we're all going to do so well together.
Yeah. Awesome. So glad you're here.
Special. And I'm so grateful you came on the show. And I'm like, today's like a teary day.
Oh, I need a hug. Oh my gosh. I'll drive over to your office and hug you.
Today's an emotional one.
All right. Well, unless anybody has anything to add, it's about time for us to wrap up here.
Yep.
So I want to thank you again, Deanna, for coming on. It's been fantastic having you. And what an amazing audience. I loved the interaction that we had from our viewers today. That was super, super cool. And also thank you to anyone who's watching the show in the future. And in the comments, the show notes, you'll find all the information to get access to anything we mentioned in the show today and how to get in touch with any of us and our special guest, Deanna, if you need to get in touch with her. And yeah, have a magical day, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye, Deanna. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.